think when we start to see this rise of the digital enterprise, digital environment, there's impacts I think we're seeing in about three specific ways. One is this obviously this constant need for speed, whether I need things now and I need things very quickly. Second is this constant need for new and change and expectations, where innovation becomes the buzzword, but it's not necessarily innovation of new products, new solutions. It can be just creatively using what you have today to recreate a process or recreate sort of a marketing campaign. And the third way I think we're starting to see organizations change in regard to this digital sort of experience that's coming out is on having more agile sort of products, workforces, organization structures, business models, where change becomes the constant, and we actually have to make sure that we embed that in terms of how we do our programs around people, whether that's hiring or promotions or performance, creating this agile environment. Because I think what this digital experience has told us is we're not really sure what the next 2 years is going to look like, but how do we as an organization prepare for that by having the right mindset to be open to change through innovative processes and actually execute on that. Now the role of HR is now how do we drive the business to be successful in this new environment? Becoming a decision advisor. How do I help the business, make more effective decisions more quickly with an ability to predict performance? The lens that HR needs to look through a lot of times is dealing with how do we make sure that our organization doesn't lose its DNA and our focus, or what makes us unique? Being this cultural architect. The next level and expectation for HR is how they are sort of critical thinkers, challenging the business or breaking down sort of the goal of a business. If it is to grow in new markets, okay, what are the key questions that we need to ask? And what are the critical talent challenges to grow a new product or a new solution in a new market? To take an example, let's say with a growth story, as organizations want to grow. And a lot of times the question becomes, so an example of an organization we work with, they were faced with a choice. We want to grow new solutions, but into current accounts. So what we started to work with them, the capability they needed was around having sort of strategic account managers, people who understood that organization, but had the ability and the trust and relationship to be able to introduce new products. But they didn't have enough of those. They had more of the hunters, the folks who are willing to acquire new business based on selling products. So we worked with them to say, okay, let's work backwards from that to say, you need strategic account managers. And then what's the profile of those strategic account managers? Do we have those folks who had that profile? So they went through test assessments to understand who had that profile from existing hunters or potentially people in other lines of business who had that same profile. And then when they had to fill a gap through externally, it was a very clear profile they were assessing against and then onboarding for. So making sure you always think backwards from the problem. And that was always front of mind for this company, where they're able to say, this is why we're doing this. Because we're not hiring strategic account managers, we're transforming the business to sell solutions. And that was really always the driving force. They never understood that was the ultimate goal.